Bom dia! Well, welcome back. I just want to make a comment about my last episode where I was feeling anxious in the middle of the night. Well, my little anxiety attack ended quickly. I'm fine. I'm not moving away from Brazil. Nothing bad is going to happen. I'm going up to the United States on Thursday, and I'm going to get my business taken care of. Making some changes to my Social Security account is going to take longer than it normally will, thanks to the dysfunctional Trump regime. But I'm going to get it done, and in the worst case scenario, it just means that I can't change my bank account, or I can't access my online Social Security account, but that's not going to interrupt my Social Security payments. And I'll get as much done as I can get done, and what I can't get done is just going to remain left undone. So, down with anxiety, up with positive thinking. I'll be back here in Brazil. Brazil is now and the long term. Cambodia is not going to happen unless something drastic happens. And Brazil kicks me out or something, and that's not going to happen. So, I'm looking forward to my visit up to San Francisco. I prefer that it was only for 2 weeks rather than 4 to 6 weeks. But, I'll take what I can get. And I wish I were going someplace else. Nothing against San Francisco. I love you, San Francisco. But, I lived in San Francisco for over 4 decades, and I'd much rather be going someplace else, exploring someplace new, like going up to the Amazon, but I got to get this taken care of. So, the Amazon will be happening. You know what I was also thinking about the other night, which I don't know why I want to share this, but sometimes sharing things and talking about things guarantees that you won't commit the same mistakes again. So, I want to talk about a period of my life that lasted way too long, but I finally realized what my pattern was, what the problem was, and got out of it, and that's the important lesson that I'd like to share with you. I call that my dysfunctional relationship period of my life with 4 different people. I call them the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Why did I get stuck in that pattern of highly dysfunctional, self-destructive relationships? Well, I think it very much stems back to my highly dysfunctional childhood and adolescence, which I've talked about before on this channel. By the time I was 15, I'd experienced my parents' 3 marriages and divorces, moving to various different states, various different schools, having 3 father figures who I hated, etc., etc. And I got through it all, but I think, inevitably, sooner or later, that kind of dysfunction catches up with you, and it did catch up with me. I don't know if you ever heard of or read the book Women Who Love Too Much. Well, it talks about women who love too much, but that book is very applicable to all human beings, men, women, and everybody in between. It certainly helped me. I highly recommend it. I got stuck in a pattern of highly dysfunctional relationships. Now, you probably have figured out by now that I'm a gay man. If that bothers you, see you later. Go find yourself a different channel. But, my 4 dysfunctional relationship with the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse were with gay men. The first 2 were with Mexican men. The first one was Antonio. I met him in Morelia, Mexico. Helped him come to the United States. It was a disastrous relationship with someone who actually turned out to be mentally ill. But the honeymoon period, if I may call it that, lasted about 3 months. His first 3 months in California, and then you know, was like bringing a kid into a candy store, basically. And it ended disastrously. But you know, one day, a few years later, he ended up knocking on my front door, and I instantly, after he opened his mouth and talked for a minute, realized that he was suffering from paranoid schizophrenia. So, did I get the last laugh? No, there was nothing to laugh at, but it certainly was a wake-up call. I should have woken up at that moment and realized that I was attracting highly dysfunctional people into my life. But no, the second relationship was with another Mexican man, Ramon. I met him at Taco Loco, a taqueria where he worked. Taco Loco should have been another warning sign. Well, you know, he was basically a closeted man who was in deep, deep denial about his sexuality. Again, it ended disastrously. I ended up actually outing him to one of his co-workers, who was also a closet case. You know, you can imagine. There were threats. Ended really badly. Then there was a pause, and then when I turned my attention to Brazil, the third horseman of the apocalypse was Diego. Diego, another deeply, deeply disastrous relationship, if I can call it that. I mean, he was a sociopath by any other name. He was a sociopath. He was a criminal. Just barely got out by the skin of my teeth. And the fourth horseman of the apocalypse was Geraldo, also in Bahia, Brazil. A total user, loser, fell head over heels, of course. But that one was the one where I finally realized, enough. I had to find a way out. I had to stop this pattern of dysfunctional relationships. I read that book I just mentioned, and other books about dysfunctional relationships, about getting involved with narcissists, with being attracted to people who are utterly incapable of having a normal, healthy adult relationship, etc., etc. And I finally cured myself. You know, I haven't had a relationship since, but that's fine. I like myself. I love myself. I've learned to like my own company, understand myself. So, I can't regret that period of my life because I, in a sense, cured myself. So I just wanted to share that with you. For my upcoming trip to San Francisco, well, on my very first full day, which is this coming Saturday, is April 5th, Saturday, and it's a nationwide protest demonstration against the Trump machine and millions, Trump dictatorship, I should say, and millions of Americans are going to protest nationwide in cities and towns across the country, including my city, San Francisco, and I hope you join us. We'll be out in the streets making lots of noise and making our voice heard. So I'm looking forward to that, of the first day of my trip back to the United States. And then I've got to do battle at the Social Security office. Who knows how long that'll take with all of the radical missteps, the mistakes the Trump machine has made with the Social Security and Medicare. I need to go to my doctor and to get an update on my prescriptions, check on my status of my diabetes. I think it's under control. My daily blood pricks that I take on my fingers show that my blood sugar is in the normal range, thanks to Ozempic. I think a lot of my friends are going to be shocked about how much weight I've lost in the last year. They haven't seen me in a year, which is the last time I went back to San Francisco for a short visit. I'm going to come back a lot thinner. and it's just good to be back and see old friends and family and walk around San Francisco and see how it's changed or not changed. And, you know, I'll be back here in Bahia, Brazil in no time. This is my home, and I ain't going nowhere. Isn't that right, kitty cat? And I'm leaving Kitty in the hands of my niece who I live with. I've left instructions how to take care of her, and I'm paying her. And Kitty better be in good shape and good health and be here when I get back, or there'll be hell to pay. Supposedly, we're going out for an outing today in Eliomar's car out to the countryside, so let's see where we're going to be going. I'll take you along with me. Beautiful Sunday outing to the countryside. I love it. It's so green and beautiful here in tropical Bahia, Brazil. Eliomar at the wheel with his lovely wife, Tanya. Beautiful here at the restaurant bar where we are, and here is Tanya and Eliomar. Snack time! Thanks for joining me today. Beijos. Ciao.